Welcome back to Blueprints. I'm Akinar, and this is day 50. Let's get it going. Day 50 is not as, there's no time constraints like we had on day 49. So I'm a little bit more at ease starting today, which is good. And as it turned out, there was no need to be nervous because getting to room 46 in under an hour, at least in our stage of the game, is, I mean, we didn't even come close to cutting it close. So we were all good on that front. Now, at the same time, I'm a little bit surprised here that we are not being greeted with a trophy. That's a little bit of a surprise to me. Trophy of Speed. Reach room 46 in under an hour. Am I missing something here? Rhetorical question in this. Maybe not rhetorical question. I'm not sure. Huh. I was expecting there. I was like pretty convinced that, okay, we didn't get the trophy when we actually got to room 46, but that's fine. It's one of these things where they probably give it to you in the entrance hall the next day. Not so much. What? There must be some fine print here, or some hidden print that I am not understanding. What did we do that could somehow disqualify us from the Trophy of Speed? Did we do anything, I don't know, untowards in terms of like the spirit of reaching room 46 in under an hour? I think everything we did was, as far as I know, right in line with what the game allows you to do. Are you not supposed to use the banner of the king? Is there like hidden reach room 46 in under an hour without the help of the banner of the king? Or I don't know. Like, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say like, oh, you can't have any permanent additions or you can't use the banner of the king or anything. I don't know. Having all this allowance and stars definitely doesn't hurt as well. Okay, well, that's add that to the list of things to wonder about. If you guys do have some friendly nudges or a friendly hint on why I did not get the Trophy of Speed, maybe it's around here somewhere. Maybe if I go back to room 46 at some point, I will get it. But I don't know. What the heck's going on with that? What the heck's going on with that? Where maybe it's in the mailroom. Maybe it's like the sweepstakes trophy and it's in the mailroom. Okay, let's get our draft started though here, because the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab this key, this archives key. Oh, well, I've been calling it an archives key, and then we found out we were so rudely derailed from that assumption because it turns out that it doesn't work in the archives. And so I was left scratching my head. Where, oh where are we supposed to use this key? If it's not in the archives, we did find a couple other rooms that had some file cabinets in them, but they also were not a place to use the key. And so I thought to myself, well, I turned off the recording last time for day 49, and almost immediately, maybe it was like within a few minutes afterward, but it was like so soon after stopping the recording, I realized a place where there are file cabinets. It occurred to me, I've walked by these things so many times and just, I don't know, maybe I feel like I at one point wondered if we might be able to open these. But also I now have walked by them so many times and just completely ignored them that I don't know exactly what I thought when. There's also one that's on its side. Knowing this game, it would be probably, I would not put it past them to have a key that works on the file cabinet that's on its side. Okay, let's see if we can actually find a drawer here that opens. It probably would be a drawer that is lower to the ground so that we can actually access the contents of the drawer once we open it. But let's not take anything for granted. Let's check them all. Now, with that being said, we are quickly striking out on all of the initial tries here. Is it Is it really the case that these are not the file cabinets either? No. No, my excitement is quickly... Oh, wait a second. There's more. There are more. Let's try these as well. Let's not give up just yet. Oh, no. No. Come on, man. Come on. You've got to be kidding me. None of these open with this key. Wow. Wow. Man, I was so hoping that this would be, that these, I didn't even remember how many, there were so many more. I thought it was like a couple file cabinets up against the wall here. There were so many file cabinets here, but none of them open with this key. Wow. I'm just a little bit stunned at the moment. There's more cabinets over here. Okay. I forgot about these. Jesus. Now these, wait, do I actually have the ability to move these? These don't move. Are there some file cabinets that are on wheels though? How many file cabinet drawers are there in this place? I can't move this stuff out of the way of these drawers, so these are probably not them. Man, are there any others here? Are there any others in the basement? And now that we've established that these file cabinets do not just appear within rooms that you draft inside of the estate, could there be other places on the outside of the estate that I have forgotten about that also have file cabinets? Man. None over here. Just these notes that I don't think are super helpful to us anymore. So these are not the cabinets either. These are not the droids you're looking for. These are not the file cabinets you're looking for. Oh my god. Well, are there's no file cabinets in here, I don't think. No. No. I am so sad right now. I don't think there's any file cabinets. Oh, there could be file cabinets in the safe house, couldn't there? Can we get to the safe house? I don't think so, because I believe... I'm going to take the couple extra steps here. Because, yeah, we filled the reservoir. I almost want to check my footage real quick to see if there were file cabinets in the safe house. And I think I will take a moment to do that here. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to quickly go to my footage archives. And, well, gosh, what episode is the problem? What episode would we have gone to the safe house? I think I might have labeled it as safe house, perhaps. See if I can find it here. What day would this have been? It was the first time we went to the safe house. That was a while ago. Oh, I guess what I could do... Oh, I was thinking I could check my screenshots for the safe house. I could do that as well. And maybe there would be, we could see some... There might be... bring this up here. There might be, within these screenshots, a glimpse of file cabinets. I could totally see the safe house being a place where there are file cabinets. What day was this on, though, that we first... We've actually been here a couple times, right? We've been here a couple times. Do I have it labeled at any... Was it part of the most insane draft yet? Did we get there during that day? Give me just a second here to go through my footage and see if I can find this. Aha! It does... We actually did make it to the safe house on day 20. The quote-unquote the most insane draft yet. Okay, let me go ahead and back this up to where we first... Okay, here we go. Where we can do this. And I will skip ahead a little bit here to actually entering the safe house. I'm taking my time. I'm taking my sweet time. There we go. Let's, taking my sweet time as I always am. Do we see file cabinets? I don't see file cabinets on initially here. I see a fridge. And then it looks like there's actually no file cabinets here. Okay. It wouldn't have surprised me. But at the same time, what reason would you have to drag file cabinets down to the underground safe house location? Let's see if I look around a little bit more here. We focus on this for a little while, and then I want to turn around and look. We get the sanctum key, we get the letter from our mother, and then I want to turn to the left. Turn to the left, please, so I can see. Here we go. So we put down the letter. Any moment now. There we go. I just wanted to see over by the bunk bed to be sure there's no file cabinet stashed next to them. But yeah, okay, so I'm really shocked though that none absolutely none of the drawers, none of those drawers that we found in the basement opened. Where are we gonna find? There must be a file cabinet somewhere that's got the right drawer. I just want to take one. Okay. I don't think we haven't looked over by the bunk beds just yet, but I don't think. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any file cabinets here. I don't see any file cabinets. So I don't think we have a reason to go to the safe house. It's possible that. Is it possible that I've misremembered there, or misremembered, that I forgot about other file cabinets that were stashed down here? Like it, oh, there is a set of file cabinets here. Yes. Yes. Oh my God. They actually did stash a set of file cabinets in this room, which I don't remember what this note said. I just know that it's a foreman's log. Almost 3 years in the tunnels, SNRs informed me we will be closing up site. Been a somewhat bittersweet experience. Working on such a historically significant excavation over the past 30-odd months, yet being unable to share any of that work with the world. Maybe one day. Still, there's a significant amount of work that has yet to be done and is vitally important that we conclude our efforts in the main cavern and reinforce the structural integrity of the site before we seal the tunnels next month. It may be generations before they are reopened. Okay, historically important, or historically, what did he say? Yeah, so historically significant. Could we be getting some more history in these file cabinets? Maybe similar to our revelations about Jayari and the crown and the royal family. Could that be what we're getting here? Whoa. To the Baroness of Mount Holly for her own hand. Screenshot. The Baroness of Mount Holly. This is Baroness Oravai, correct? Let's check our notes. Let's make sure of this. But I believe this is in our root cellar family tree. Baroness Oravai. We don't have any other. I don't think Clara Epsom was ever called the Baroness. And I think the Baroness is the one who has the rogue moon pendant. And we see her also depicted in a portrait in the attic. Although, albeit an older version of her. So that's who we're talking about here. For her own hand. What exactly does that mean? Like, I'm thinking in one regard, like the old, medieval, the hand of the king. The servant or whatever. Not the servant, but the person who was basically could carry out the will of the king, if need be. But I don't think it's this kind of her own hand, but I'm not sure. For her own hand. Maybe the Baroness, if she's actually royalty. And we don't yet know. I think that's the other question that I still have yet to resolve in my mind is from what side of the family tree does the royalty come from? Is it truly from the Epson side? We decoded Clara's letter before, and we got a much better reading of it. Let me look at that again and remind myself, what did we actually... I had another nudge, by the way. I've had a few nudges from y'all in the comments, and I do want to go over them here at some point. But one of them that I did have was regarding this... I need to make this a little bit smaller here. This, I had some confusion about this part of the letter, the Joro, Uldain Joravo, and someone had nudged me to maybe take another look at the very last line in the letter. And that's when it occurred to me, well, the last line is Uljora, which we surmised was your mother. Well, if Jorah is mother, then Joro could be father. If that's the case, then your life is away from your father? From your father? Question mark? Not sure about that. But I don't know if that... What was the reason of going to this letter? Oh, yeah, I wanted to... Yeah, it says, you are not House Sinclair, you are not House Epson. Your name is Jayari. This is where I am a little... There has to be some blood relation to the royal lineage, right? But she's saying that you're not House Sinclair and you're not House Epson. You're not those houses. But one of them has to be where the Jayari part of the, you know, the royalty is coming from. Doesn't it? Am I misunderstanding something here? Okay, let's get back on course. I'm getting a little bit derailed. Let's read what the letter says. Oh my god. Oh my god. Numeric cores. Numeric coring examples. Okay. Well, we might have found... We had a blue note or a blue tense memo last time that I was so confused about, talking about a family core. It sounds like that is probably what this is talking about. Let's read. There's a little bit cut off at the top. The numbers that built the world, question mark, page 36. Numeric cores. By the third era, numeric cores had fallen completely out of favor and were no longer being included in proofs by serious arithmeticians. No longer being included in proofs. This concept, once considered sacred, was now regarded as an over-engineered concept that only served to slow further advancements in the field, as Philip Wilkins once famously put it. The concept of numeric cores, an over-engineered concept. Don't know if Philip Wilkins is supposed to be important, but steps to find a numeric core. Take any number with 4 or more digits. Without changing the sequence, split the number into 4 smaller numbers. So 86455 becomes 8, 6, 45, and 5. Next, assign each a different color, resulting in a valid mathematical equation that produces the smallest whole number possible. My mind is immediately thinking of the billiard room. We've had all the math puzzles in the billiard/break room, and we've seen on our classroom math lessons, as well as I think the hovel and maybe the locker room as well. All of these colored sequences of numbers. We'll check the notes for the hovel in a moment to remind myself what was there, but that's where my mind is going. Aha! That's what this is related to. Or that's what those things have been related to. They're part of numeric cores. So it produces, assign a different color that produces the smallest whole number possible. The first number should always be assigned teal to begin with a positive number. Yeah, that's similar to the break room math games. But then it goes 8 minus 6 times 45 divided by 5. Now, in that case, it just looks like we're doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and we're just assigning that in the order. In that order, that kind of natural order of how you learn those operations. But does it also happen that this produces the smallest possible number? Could you not arrange these math operators in any other way to get a smaller number than this? Surely you could do 8 times 6 minus 45, couldn't you? That would be 8 times 6 is 48? Am I doing that right? Math is hard on the spot, but yes, 48 minus 45 would be 3, and then divided by 5 would be 3/5. What does this get you? 8 minus 6 is 2, times 45, which is 90, divided by 5, which is 15. So, okay, but I guess they're just giving you an example here. But I'm getting hung up. I always, the details-oriented part of me that wants to, you know, understand this like I'm reading a coding API. I have to know exactly what this means. So smallest whole number possible. Yeah, I feel like you could definitely do this differently, but this is just an example. If the result is a number with more than 3 digits, repeat the above process. This is so weird. What in the hell? The final number you obtain that is less than 4 digits is considered the numeric core of the larger number. Okay, I did not understand that at all. What the hell? If this result is a number with more than 3 digits, repeat the above process. Okay, so like you say here, you go back. If you get to this part, step 3, and you still have 4 digits, go back and do step 1 again, split it up, do the operation again, and eventually you'll get down to a number that is less than 4 digits, and that is considered the numeric core of the original number that you started with, 86455. Okay, well, man, that there sure seems like there's I'm gonna need a little bit more direction here, because it feels like there's why did we split this at 45 instead of 55 or 64 or 86? There's a bit of arbitrary splitting that's going on here. I need a little bit more definitive directions on what to do at each step, because I see multiple ways I could have split this, and this is just saying, without changing the sequence, just split it into 4 smaller numbers. Well, but one of them's got to be the right one, doesn't it? Okay, let's not get hung up on that. Let's not get hung up on that. They're giving us more examples here, but this is what we've already seen. The core here is 18, but then they're giving us the start of another one. They're giving us the start of 3614. And presumably, we would be able to fill in the blanks here. I mean, if we're just following this pattern the way this is, we split this into 3, 6, 1, and 4. And we do 3 minus 6. See, this is where it's probably going to want you to do a different order of operations. Now, interestingly, okay, one detail I'm seeing here is the fact that... Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. I skipped a step. We first split, so it becomes 8, 6, 45, 5. But then the next line says becomes plus 8 minus 6. I thought for a second that was missing the plus 3 here, but I forgot we did this part. We did this second line becomes 8. So it becomes 3, 6, 1, 4. If we just did it like this, plus 3 minus 6 is negative 3 times 1, negative 3, divided by 4 is negative 3/4. But we really haven't done, this is not, none of our math games in the break room have resulted in fractions. And I suspect that they would have, if fractions were allowable here, they would have given you an example or talked about fractions. So if we are indeed, I'm assuming that I'm supposed to solve this 3614, but again, numeric cores, is this actually related to the family core that we delved into, or we got the blue memo for last time? Let's go back and read that memo again so I can remind myself, what did we actually read? What did we read? Okay, here it is. We got this in the vault. The family core is unlocked only by the sum of its digits. So now this blue memo does make more sense. At the time, I was like, what the fuck? Now it makes maybe a little more sense, but my big question is 3614. Is this related to the family core? If so, 3 plus 6 plus 1 plus 4 gets us 14. The core would be 14. Now, even if that's true, what does that do for me? Okay, cool, the core is 14. Like, the hell do I do with that? This is page 37, by the way. Numbers. The numbers that built the world of yesterday. That's the title of this book, apparently. The numbers that built the world of yesterday. Bro, this game just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Okay, I think I've taken my screenshots of all these. We will mull this over, of course. To the Baroness of Mount Holly for her own hand. Why was this sent to the Baroness? And who sent it to her? And then why was it kept here in the file cabinet? I mean, Herbert did all this, right? Herbert set all these things up. I don't know if Herbert maybe didn't write this letter or put this envelope together, but he probably left it here in this file cabinet for us to find. Right? Right. Just like he set up everything. And I guess that is a good time for me to talk about this other nudge that I have received regarding Herbert's will. So on day 49, yesterday, we tried, I had a wild idea about cuckoo clocks and sacred hour that didn't turn out to be true. But I did receive a follow-up nudge regarding this, and it was a nudge from Riley, who is like one of our MVPs when it comes to giving nudges and hints. There are so many. You all are so helpful in cluing me in or getting me started on focusing on the right thing or thinking about the right thing without giving away too much, which is really the ultimate goal. I would love to be able to figure out everything for myself, but I'm understanding, trying to understand as best I can, or cope, not cope. What's the word that I'm going for here? I am coming to accept the fact that that is not going to happen in this game. I love figuring everything out for myself. That just ain't going to happen here. I'm going to need some help from you all. But if I can get help that reveals as little as possible and leaves as much discovery up to me as possible, then that's the best way to do it. So I got a new clue that Riley left, and he actually wrote like several lines, but I only read a couple of them, and that's what his nudge was like. I've written you a nudge here that you can read line by line, because each line will give you a little bit more to the puzzle, or a little bit more of a nudge, a little bit more direct of a nudge as you need. So I only read the first 2 lines, which say, in Herbert's will, there is a clue, a gift and a message from the old man to you. And that's where I stopped, because I was like, okay, All right, let me go back and check this will again. Let's give it another look. And so let's go actually give it another look here. Go to room 46 and check our notes for... Give another look to the will and testament of Mr. Herbert Sinclair. And that's where we reach the last couple pages of the will, where he is addressing Simon directly. Now he talks about some stuff here. He's leaving the rest of his estate and the fact that we have to get to room 46, and if we don't, it's going to go to the Arindian Heritage Foundation. So I don't think that this is what's being hinted at, because on the next page he says directly, as one final gift to my grandnephew Simon P. Jones. And that was a gift and a message from the old man to you. That's where I got the idea, okay, I'm probably supposed to focus on this section here, because there are several other things. Let's just read through it. As one final gift to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, regardless of whether he finds room 46 or not, I leave and bequeath to him the original manuscripts of his mother's works that were produced here under the roof of her childhood home. These preliminary draft copies include Red Prince, which she wrote while visiting the estate during the brightest of her days, and A New Clue, which she penned here during the darkest. I hope that in due time and in the natural order of things, you will come to be content, as I have, with what little of herself she left us. This has to be what the original nudge was about, to reread Herbert's will carefully. Because at the time, honestly, I had a suspicion about this part of the will, because the natural order of things is very conspicuously in bold. And knowing how Blueprints does things, that's got to be important. But at the same time, as I was reading it, I wasn't sure, because there have been many red herrings, and there have been things in the game that I have fixated on that have turned out to not be useful. And so that's part of the challenge with the game right now, is like, if I were playing this on my own, it's so difficult to know, what are you supposed to focus on? What are you supposed to really take and say, okay, this is something that I need to spend time thinking about, versus this is a red herring, ignore it. And that's why I wasn't sure. It's like, okay, the natural order of things, it didn't immediately spring to mind what this meant. And so I thought, I don't necessarily want to waste time on this if this is not going to be fruitful, or if it's not something that I should be worried about. Now that I have received a nudge to reread Herbert's will, and there is something about a gift from the old man to you, this has got to be it. And it has to be involving the Red Prince and A New Clue, right? Those are in capital letters, italicized, and then the natural order of things is in bold. So, off camera, I went and I took another look at the Red Prince and A New Clue. The Red Prince is right here, actually, in the nursery. I went through and I quickly just reread this, and I was kind of like, I was trying to keep an eye out for any, do the words natural or order appear at all in the book? And I didn't see them. I didn't really see anything that stood out to me. But maybe we should reread through it just to see here on the spot if there is anything new that jumps out to me. There was a red prince who sat on a red throne. He had a red crown made of rubies and a red castle made of stone. This depiction here of the Red Prince, it does kind of look like the throne room. A little bit. I think the knights are a little different. They're not holding swords in the book here like they are in the actual throne room. And also, I don't think the throne has... There's not nearly as much red in this, in our actual throne room on the estate. The prince had a love for all things red. It's the only true color, the prince often said. I had wondered about this before, the fact that true is in italicized, but there's no other italicized word in the whole book. So it's not, it doesn't seem like we had before with the low case clues in the pantry and the nook and whatnot. It's not like put those words in the natural order of things. Because that's where my mind is at. My mind is thinking, I'm supposed to look in the Red Prince, and I'm supposed to look in a new clue and find some words that have a natural order to them. The natural order of things. I don't know what to make of it. Is the point that I am eventually getting at here, is I really don't know at the moment. I guess we'll keep reading Red Prince. He could not stand the sight of a canary or a crow. He could not stand the white of a swan in the snow. And he never looked up for fear of the view. He had heard that the sky was not a red hue. So he always had a book to turn his eyes down if he was ever outside when the clouds weren't around. Do you know which book the prince always had? The one that made him happy whenever he was sad? A story he read in the bath and the bed, and maybe you can guess with the clues that we have said. It was the story of a boy who also wore red, and he looked like our prince from his toes to his head. I think we've noted before the fact that this mirror happens to look like the Arinda core. I think we've noted that previously. I certainly had noticed it at least once. It was not the first time when I reread this the other day. But it is a, you know, significant detail. It may just be a political statement by our mother. And as you, my reader, might already assume, this book is quite near you, in fact, in the same room. A story about you, if it needs to be said, about a red prince and his book. The red book we just read. See, in reading that, nothing pops out to me as the natural order of things. The natural order of things. I don't know. And then, so I also went to reread A New Clue to see if anything else jumped out to me there. And once again, I don't see, I mean, there's so much to see in A New Clue. There are so many relevant bits of information in this book, but I don't know how any of them relate to quote unquote the natural order of things. I don't see the word natural or the word order. I don't think, I may have overlooked it, but I don't see that in any of the clues that we've received in A New Clue. And like there, I could come up with all sorts of overcomplicated things. Like I could start rearranging the words on the chalkboard, like trying to come up with some natural order for the words on the chalkboard, or a natural order of the words for the names on these books. But I know that we've utilized all of this information in one way or the other, has been utilized. We've seen all the signs. We've gotten the clue for breaking the vase from the entrance hall. It feels like we've made use of everything that we've seen in A New Clue. So that's where I'm at on that. I have received, I think I'm at least looking at the right part of the will finally, but I don't know what more to make of it. Feels like there's something involving the Red Prince and A New Clue that I need to figure out, and it has to do with the natural order of things, but I feel stuck. That's where I feel stuck as you know what. So, okay, great. That is an awesome discovery that we will file away and mull over. as we do with so many others. It's so cool how it happened that I was thinking about where else are there file cabinets, and my mind went to the safe house. And simply because I stepped out here, I then was like, well, you know what? Maybe there's another spot here that I forgot about. And sure enough, that little side room, the room that you can't originally, you have to. It looks like there's no entrance there at first, but once you do actually go to examine it more closely, you can get into that room. This game is, I feel like every time I get to this point where I'm like, man, how am I going to figure this out? How am I going to figure this thing out? And there's just that feeling of being overwhelmed at like how much information there is to sift through in this game. And how many more pieces of information that you have yet to even gather. See, that's maybe the most intimidating thing about this, about the blue tents situation, is the fact that there's so many blue rooms. There are so many blue rooms to draft, and draft on rank 8 specifically. I will say I have also received a nudge. Some of you might have seen it on screen there momentarily. I have received a nudge about a couple rooms. I also got this nudge from Riley. Thank you very much. The 2 rooms in particular that I want to focus on to try to get the blue tents memo. We'll talk about those rooms as we're getting, well, as they appear in the draft, perhaps. For today, oh, interesting. Wait a second. I could have sworn we had a blessing of the monk. And we called it a day in the break room, right? Because we have a whatchamacallit, a key card. That's kind of interesting. Interesting. Well, and so I'm just a little bit stunned that the break room didn't show up here. I guess the blessing of the monk doesn't work with some rooms. Huh? Things are not working here, guys. Sometimes I wonder if my game file is bugged out. I didn't get my 1 hour trophy. I don't have a break room out here. Not that I was really looking to get a break room in the outer room. Maybe I would have taken it. I don't know. Because it could get you some extra keys, right? Why is that not being offered here, though? If we could get the treasure trove, it's an elbow room, just like the treasure trove is the break room. Okay. I don't know why it's not showing up, but we have a root cellar and a tool shed and a hovel to choose from. We're finally drafting the outer room here first. It feels like it's been a while since we've done that. So, yeah, what do I want out of these? I feel like we're kind of back to like a day 10 draft where it's been a while since I've been like choosing between these. Like these have become lower priority outer rooms for me because, well, there's other outer rooms that are just so much more important as you get to the later stages of the game. We might just start out with 2 special items here. I'm not. Well, maybe we should review the information though that's in the root cellar and the hovel. Those are both rooms that might be worth looking at again. I don't know that I want to make special floor plans cost steps. I think I'd rather we get gems fairly easily, and yeah, I'm actually it's either going to be the root cellar or the tool shed. We haven't been in the root cellar in quite some time, but neither have we been in the tool shed in quite some time. I just know we're not like desperate for items on most days. So I think I will just take a moment to recheck the information in the root cellar. Which is not much. There's not much here, but we do have this note over here about the search continuing for the author and illustrator whose fanciful stories name Marion Marigold was last seen by a Friday getting into a carriage after a late. No sign has yet been found. I think now that we know what we know from a new clue, this has got to be, have you seen all the signs? No sign has been found yet, because they also see very, very faintly at the bottom, XYZ, ABC. That's totally related to the stuff we did with the new clue. I don't remember exactly. XYZ had to do with like the order of the words that you needed to count the words on the page XYZ. I don't remember exactly how that worked out. It's been a while since we solved that puzzle, but that's got to be what that's related to, right? Nothing more than that. And then the family tree, I think, is the only other relevant information in this room. And we have looked at this several times in my notes, and I'm not seeing anything that stands out looking at it here in a more crystal clear version. Nothing with a magnifying glass, I don't think, that would be revealed. But maybe we'll make our way back here once we have a shovel. Okay. Okay, all right. So we have a root cellar. Let's we're definitely at a more leisurely pace to start today in terms of our draft than we were on day 49. But we've got, you got to think about things. And we've already had one major discovery with the numeric cores. So, okay, it's time to start a draft. Let's get it started. At some point, rooms like a coat check and a den, those are going to be rooms that we want to save for rank 8. I think. Maybe not. Like, I could probably ask you all to tell me, like, is it worth putting coat check at rank 8? Or the den? I'm not asking that just yet. But we've seen that some blue memos are going to be less useful than others. I will start the day, though, with my faithful coat check and my crown. Because I love it. Maybe more than I should, but I think it's a good item. And then we will start. Why don't we actually start to the east this time? Let's go to the east. We normally go west, but we'll start east. And now is when we can take an observatory, I think. This will get us 47 stars or 48 stars. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be 48. And if it is 48, the rewards from 48 should be pretty good. I could also take a hallway here for more doors. Observatory, at some point, we'd like to put on rank 8. I will also point out that I think the reading nook might be one that we want to focus on for rank 8, because the nudges that I got, the nudges that Riley left me, let me show them here. Let me bring this up here. The nudges that I received had to doing with blue tents rooms that you would want to prioritize. The hints were where wealth is shared from here to there, and where a place to read will soon be guaranteed. And I love that Riley gets in the spirit of blueprints and all the wonderful rhyming and wordplay that goes on. Where a place to read will soon be guaranteed. That could be a couple things. It could be the reading nook, or it could be the library. But of course, if you draft a reading nook, then you're getting a library. So we will try to save the reading nook for rank 8 today, if we can do that. And maybe I'll use the banner of the king to set that to blue when we're ready to draft at rank 8. So we're really making sure that we... Well, I don't know if that would make it more likely to get the reading nook or not. Because reading nook is common, right? So if you set the banner of the king to blue, does that like make rooms that are the rarer blue rooms, like the vault, do those become like commonplace or standard? Don't answer that for sure. But it may or may not be more optimal to use the banner to try to get the reading nook later on in the day. But one way or the other, I think the observatory is what I want here, because I think it gets me the most resources. The most bang for my buck when it comes to gems being spent. We actually do get to 49 stars. Okay, we were higher in the star count than I realized. So I think 49 is still good. But it actually looks like it's not getting us a Diamondus Major. We do get a Diamondus Minor. And we get Florealis. We get a key, and we get the Farmer's Apple. There's also the Southern Cross here. Do I want the Southern Cross? I don't think I want the Southern Cross, because I'm not going for an Archives. I don't like... But at the same time, we have the Crown. We can reroll Archives. We can reroll Floor Plan. We can reroll the Weight Room. So maybe the Southern Cross is okay. Maybe I take it. Southern Cross. Would it interfere? Would the Southern Cross interfere with getting... Oh, because if we're going for the Reading Nook and or the library at rank 8, the other clue there regarding spreading wealth from here to there, that has to be the office. At first I thought the vault, but the vault we've already checked. We've already got the blue memo from the vault. So what spreads wealth from here to there? The office spreads gold. The office makes the most sense for that other clue. So we want to get the office, and we want to get the Nook or the library at rank 8. Those are elbow rooms. Will they be crowded out because of the Southern Cross? They might be. So I'm actually going to leave that the way it is. Not take the Southern Cross just yet, if at all. We got the twin trunks, but I don't have a sledgehammer. I do have 2 keys. Let's see if we can get a sledgehammer from a commissary or something before we open the trunks with keys. They're really showing us this reading nook here, huh? I heard you wanted a reading nook. I may take the chapel here, but I like the idea of getting a gem as well. And like the chapel just gives me the 1 door. We should be able to get at least 1 door to continue the draft in this direction from the next set of rooms. Let's take the chance and take our gem. We do get at least 1 door, and I guess I'm going to make it a workshop, because that does give us an item. And it gives us the same... Oh, look who's back. Look who's back, folks. The bedroom. The bedroom is back from its banishment. The bedroom is back. So we could take the bedroom. If I actually like the door placement from the bedroom better. I like getting directly over to the east wing, filling out our base that way. But I also do like the fact that we get the item from the workshop. And that's 1 less blue room in our blue room pool. We've already checked the note, the blue tents note from the workshop. But I did say that I wanted a sledgehammer. And I hate that the bedroom pretty much never gives me items anymore. I don't know what I did to piss off the bedroom. But if we don't fill out our base completely on the right-hand side, it's okay. I'll take the workshop. The chance at a sledgehammer is enough of a... there it is enough of a incentive for me to go for it. Now, nothing to make yet, of course. But there's actually a dig site here, because we have a root cellar. So now I will, I think, immediately go to the entrance hall, because we might have dice in those trunks. Would actually like to have some dice if I could help it. All right, no dice, but a nice spread of keys and gems. So that's good. I guess now we'll go ahead and start drafting to the west. Might as well go in this direction. Now I will take my commissary over a parlor. A parlor is another room that theoretically we would want to get on rank 8 at some point. And because we're already off to a good start in the gems department, let's take that commissary and lock down other items that may be of use to us, including more gems, possibly. And in fact, one of those items 2 of those items are gems and also a shovel. I was hoping we'd get a shovel to go with our root cellar. Beautiful. Trusty magnifying glass. We just take all the gems, right? Like, yeah, maybe I should save some gold for a showroom, but you just take it all, man. Because there's dig sites. There's dig sites to dig. Cannot make anything with the shovel just yet. Can't do a detector shovel or a jackhammer or anything. So let's keep drafting now in the west wing direction. Ooh, there's a tunnel. A tunnel. A tunnel. I do, at some point, I want to test what happens when you tunnel all the way into the wall in any one direction. Is this the day that I want to test that? Not particularly, because we do want to, well, we want to get to rank 8. We want to get to rank 8. The tunnel would be a pretty damn good way to get to rank 8, wouldn't it? We could just go straight there. The problem is we might run into some locked doors, and our key situation could dwindle a bit. Now, the tunnel is the only room here that even offers us a door forward, so I'm probably taking it no matter what. And then we can ponder our decision at the next stop, whether to continue our tunnel or not. So I guess I will do that. I don't want to just leave the one door from the workshop, even though the storeroom is a nice bit of resources. The nursery as well would be good for making our steps nice and healthy, but I don't want a dead end just yet. I'll take a tunnel. And I will. There are so many dig sites in this, of course, the root cellar buffed tunnel. My God. There's going to be some turnips in here. We're going to be fine on steps. No reason to take a nursery. Eventually, there will be at least one turnip. Unless the tunnel has a special anti-turnip buff. Aha, okay. I think I take the pool here. I don't really want to do the tunnel thing just yet. Or do I? Is it going to be a big problem if I like, it lets us get straight to rank 8. And then I could activate the Banner of the King, and we could try to get. The thing is, I still want to fill out my base, and I also want to take blue rooms out of the pool, including the pool itself. Ones that I'm not as anxious to, like, I want to aim for the office, and I want to aim for the reading nook. So I want to take all blue rooms that are not those two, and draft them in other places first to make getting them on rank 8 a little bit easier. If I just go straight to rank 8 right now with no rerolls or anything, the chances that I get those 2 rooms are going to be far less. So let's take the pool. We have our sledgehammer for the twin trunks. Still no dice. Dice, please. No dice. Where are my dice at? So we have lots of gems though. We could take a study. Oh, there's running shoes? Where our steps situation is going to be golden. Okay. Step situation is going to be no problem. Okay. Well, we take an observatory and that gives us an inkwell. Yeah, right? Inkwell. And then we have a way to re-roll things. Guy's bedroom does a similar thing, but I would like to draft the rest of my west wing here if I can. And we don't need a parlor right now. Let's do observatory. Inkwell, por favor. Cool. Not necessarily wanting to spend any of those stars anywhere else besides rank 8, but if we have to in certain situations, we will. Okay, there's her ladyship's chamber, which we have made common. So it showing up drafting downward on the west wing is going to happen quite a bit now. So I don't... I mean, if we get a telescope from her ladyship's chamber, that's good. But otherwise, I'm not desperate for it. I would kind of rather take the den so I get a shot at a conservatory in the corner. I think I'm leaning that direction. Yeah. And we could also get her ladyship's chamber offered again in the corner as well. So let's take the den here. Trunk. There's a trunk. And we get a secret garden key. Okay. The secret garden key does offer you... It opens those two doors in the antechamber, which does give you a little bit of maneuverability in terms of drafting rank 8. So that could come in handy. And there's our conservatory. Cool. Cool. I'll take it. And it's going to have extra dig sites, and it has Florealis as well. And there's a trunk here. Oh my god. And there's dice. Sweet. Okay. Resource situation is... We're in good shape. There's a turnip. Everything is coming up turnips. Grab our Florealis. Is it just the one? It's just the one, apparently. And then, oh, some interesting options here on the floor plan conservation. Chamber of Mirrors and Furnace. I wonder if we should make this Chamber of Mirrors a little less rare. Like unusual. At the same time, whenever we take the Southern Cross, we're going to see a lot of it, even if it's rare. What would be the reason to make this more common? So it shows up on rank 8. That's really the main thing. Any blue room now, you kind of want to get a shot at it on rank 8 at least once. And then you're done with it. I'm a little worried about making it standard. I think I'll make it unusual, though. Let's give ourselves a little bit better chance at seeing the chamber. Because I wouldn't mind getting that one on rank 8. Would be an interesting one to see. Because there could be like multiple blue notes. That was one idea I had. I could see them putting like multiple blue tens memos in the chamber. It's one of those rooms. You could see them pulling shenanigans. Furnace. Actually, we don't change this one, do we? I don't think we're... The main use for the furnace is like defrosting your assets after you've stepped in the freezer. Otherwise, yeah, I think this is actually... I thought this was a more interesting pick for some reason when I first saw it here. But we don't have... We're not desperate to draft the furnace. Like, maybe... We've never been desperate to draft the furnace, but there have been times where I've wanted to, like, make red rooms more likely. But we can just do that now with the Banner of the King. We don't need the furnace. So you just leave this one rare. And I think the Servants' Quarters is the same way. And I might even just make this a rare. Because I feel like I'm never needing the keys from this. I never need these keys. Ever. I think this is a rare. I certainly hope there's nothing else information-wise to find in this room. I figure you guys will nudge me in that direction if that's the case. I'm going to make this a rare. Because I don't think we need it. I'm thinking that's the way we go. Okay. Changes have been made. Let's continue with our Inkwell online. We continue the draft. Not ideal here. I'd feel a lot better if I had a room pointing up this break room. Why couldn't we point this in the other direction? Where's my ornate compass when I need it? Is it worth using a redraw for? I might want to. I don't want this corridor. And I don't want to settle for a room that's dead-ending me. I'm gonna use a die. Okay, laboratory's great because we get to start experiments. And if we get the experiment that removes crates via hallways, where you like stack hallways together, I might do that. We have already drafted the tunnel, which is unfortunate. But let's just check our laboratory options and see what we're offered before we start guessing about different experimental setups. Let's just see what they give us. Yeah, we can go straight to the experiment setup because we don't have to set the experiment. We can actually back out if we want to. We do get the proc for hallways connected to other hallways, but we don't get removing crates. No crate removal today, I'm afraid, folks. All right, well, each time you find some trash while digging, that could probably proc a lot today. So I guess we just do that, right? I guess we just do that. I don't want to add aquariums to my draft pool because I don't want to crowd out the chance to get the office and the nook on rank 8. So, I mean, this one as well procs a lot. The 2 gems or more. Drafting rooms. We know that that happens all the time. But when we've got the root cellar, this is the time to take this experiment. And then we just gain a key, a gem, or a die randomly. It's fine. Or we could set our dice to 2. Constantly spend your dice so that you're... I mean, that might be the better one. Because I don't really care about getting gems or keys, I don't think. I'd rather just get my dice. So this gives me an incentive to spend my dice more liberally. Yeah, let's do it. Just got to remember if I happen to pick up 3 or 4 dice that I don't go digging haphazardly. And even if I do, if I lose a couple dice, it's not the end of the world. So let's do our network login, I guess, as well. We want to check for staff announcements, as always. Now that it's the day after Christmas, and where everybody's returning their gifts to the department store. Or, I guess that's not what you do in this. In 1993, it's what you would have been doing. 2026, you're just sending it back through UPS. But what do we want to remote into the... We go into security, right? Just to give ourselves more keycard doors. That's... Like, it's always fun to log into the shelter once you've gotten your experiment to proc a whole bunch. It is fun to do that, actually. I might just leave that. And we'll do special order for magnifying glass like we always do. But I think I might just leave or wait to log into something remotely. Because who knows, we might want to use the shelter to open all the doors. We're at 6 keys already. It's probably going to be fine. It's just that the security terminal, it's a common room, so we're probably just going to draft it on its own anyways. So I think that's all I wanted to do there. This is a blue memo, but it's a blue memo that we have seen many, many times. It's not a new one. I can still interact with this. Is that true? I don't think it does anything for me anymore, though. I don't think there's anything else to be done in the laboratory. So, let's, we've got that rest of the base that's not drafted yet, but that's okay. Let's just keep drafting from here. It's totally fine. This, I think, will be a passageway. That makes too much sense to not take all the doors that we can here. Easiest passageway of my life. And now, let's see if we can connect back to the workshop. That's a hallway. That's pretty good. Yep, I like that. And then... Oh, I wasn't looking for dig sites. I don't think there were any dig sites in the passageway, but there could be when you've got the root cellar. You got to be on the lookout. So now, with the 1 die and also the inkwell, hopefully we get a room that connects to the workshop, and I will take the drawing room to make that a reality. Yes. I don't want the dark room here. So drawing room it is. Get our gem back. Now, there's still nothing that we can make in the workshop, so no contraptions just yet. Soon, maybe? Question mark? Ooh, there's an office, but not in the spot that we want it. So, I want a door that goes downward, please. So let's redraw. I did get a room that goes downward. Classroom is not the most exciting ever, but we'll take it. I think I don't need the locksmith. I don't need the guy's bedroom. Classroom it is. Take our upgraded apple. Spare master bedroom to just make sure we get down the east wing all the way. And we'll take the steps now from the spare master bedroom. We do have 5 redraws. Is there anything else here that I'd want to go for? I just really want the room that gets me to the corner. But I did take a conservatory already, so the corner's not like crucial. So would I redraw for anything else? I can't think of anything that's imperative to redraw for here, so I will settle for that. Spare master bedroom, totally fine. And we get a sleeping mask. Our step situation is golden. When is it not? Okay, walk-in closet is another... It's another room that... It's a blue room that's out of our pool. So I think when I'm, like, close debating between a couple rooms, I'll err on the side of taking the blue room that is not the reading nook, so that we have an easier time of getting it, hopefully, on rank 8. The dice from the guy's bedroom wouldn't be bad, but when we've got our experiment, that's going to be giving us dice constantly. Hopefully, the walk-in closet is a little more enticing. And now with a lockpick kit, there is no door that's going to be standing in our way. Alrighty. So cool. Our base is filled out. And let's continue up the east wing. Okay. I could use the secret garden here if I wanted. But I think I'd rather wait, because we can get more value out of it the farther up the wing that it is. So let's just use the lockpick kit here. Break room, I think. And solve another math puzzle, hopefully. Courtyard also would be good with Florealis and whatnot, but we're good on gems at this point. Let's just take the break room. We also guarantee that the break room is on our estate. Like we always like to have it there. I don't think there's any key information here about... I'm still wondering about this staff contracts. How is the staff contract? Is this an important enough... Well, does this matter? Do I need to worry about this? And if they're no longer kept on the highest rank, where are they? Does it matter? It feels like one of those things that I just ignore, but maybe it's relevant still. Okay, 14, and then you invert the digits so you get 41. Minus 1 is 40, minus 20 is 20. 10, invert the digits to get 1, times 20 gets you 20. All right, 20/20 vision here. Okay, you start with 10 plus 10, and then you multiply by 10 to get 100, and then you subtract 10 to get 90, and then you invert it to get 9. Blueprints algebra is a baby game for babies. And it's still so much fun. What does that say about me? What exactly do that say about me? Music room. At some point, I'd like to get it back on rank 8 and figure out what the hell I missed. The kennel as well. The kennel is one we want to get on rank 8. I'm not desperate for the keys, though, from the music room. The kennel is actually a reasonable one here in terms of synergy because of the root cellar. But we also have 10 keys in a lockpick kit. And but also, I don't really need to re-roll here to get a gem from the dark room. Like, I think we just take the kennel. 'Cause doggos. And it's another blue room that we don't have to worry about getting on rank 8. Hi. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Good boy. Okay, get me this. Man, so many dig sites in here. Did they actually squeeze 4 dig sites in this one little kennel age? A greenhouse. I feel like it's been forever since we've drafted a greenhouse. I think I still take the den because I would rather not have the den offered on rank 8, and it gets me an extra door. So I think I've just taken the den. And then I might go back. I might go back to the passageway and start filling out the house. I still kind of want to fill things out and draft as many blue rooms as we can before we get to rank 8. So, and our step situation should be totally fine. So we can leave the den there. Don't need that gem right away. Let's go back in this direction. Double check that there were no dig sites here. Pump room. We don't have to get back to the safe house. For a second I thought, oh, I need the pump room to change the water level. Don't have to do that. Don't really want to take the pump room. There's probably dig sites in here. But I suppose it is another blue room that is not going to be on rank 8. I suppose it's fine. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Is there really no dig siting here on a day when we have the root cellar? That's actually kind of crazy to me. Because I feel like I've seen dig sites in here on many occasions. Not today? What? Do I have any other? It's just a signal guard key. So lockpick kit does not work. Use a regular key because we got infinite of them. And now I take a dining room. Another blue room out of the pool. Sure. Give me my munchies. And we go West Wing. A garage. I kind of want to fill out that last room, though. I always love getting every single room drafted. And I don't need the keys for the garage, except we do have car keys. We do have the car keys. We do have the car keys. I think I'm gonna redraw, though. I think I'm gonna redraw. Yeah, redraw. There we go, security. And we did get security, which we almost always do. Because it's a common room. Funny how that works. Let's do... Yep, the one gem in the den. And then keycard system. We know what we do with the keycard system every time. Every time. And otherwise, there is... So now... well, we haven't procced any experiments yet, so we still don't need to do the remote login to the shelter. But now that would be the remote login that we would do if we needed to. But we have 11 keys and a key card, and security level's high. Like, what's the point? Now do I just take the Parlor just to solve another Parlor game? I could do that. But I could also get a gem and take the furnace out. Yeah. I like using my crown. I like doing it. Okay, boiler room. Maybe I'll just take the nursery here, but I don't need the steps. I just really want to take away as many blue rooms as possible. I get him out of the pool, you know? Get him out of there. There could be dig sites in the boiler room as well. So that would help us maybe get our gems, our dice back. Oh yeah, oh, there are dig sites. Let me tell you, there are dig sites here. Give me some trash. That's a turnip. I want at least one trash, please, for a couple dice. Let's go. That should proc that, right? Yes, okay. It took a moment, but give me my 2 dice. If I really wanted to min-max this, I could, like, save these dig sites. Because I could have gotten, like, 4 more dice, theoretically. But you gotta spend the dice first, and then you gotta walk back here, and, you know, it's whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Now maybe I use a secret garden key. Sure. And we'll do our due diligence with the secret garden like we always do. Open up the antechamber. That could come in useful. Pondering the mysteries of the Mount Holly estate while in the secret garden. How are we going to solve numeric cores? How are we going to do it? Well, actually, honestly, the answer is probably not how are we going to solve the cores, but what are we going to do with the solved cores once we actually do make sense, or once we actually do confirm what the correct answer is to the family core. The question is, where are we going to utilize that information? Where is it going to be useful to us? I'm... Okay, there's a dig site. I was going to say, we'll wait on that dig site because maybe I will use some dice at my secret garden doors here. We're still a couple ranks away from rank 8. So I could totally take a closet here, and that's one more blue room that is out of my pool. But I could also spend some dice. I think I'm fine using the, let's use the closet here. We have so many resources. This is so silly. I think what I'll do, well, let's draft this door first, because we might spend dice here. So there's that garage, but I don't really want the dead end here. Now I could get the garage at rank 8, maybe. Is it a room that gets offered at rank 8? I think one way or the other I'm spending some one of my dice here, because I don't want to close myself off from reaching rank 8. Now I can take a foyer to get me to rank 8. Yeah, and I still have the paths from the other parts of the house to get me to rank 8 as well. Okay, so let's take the foyer. Hallways are now open, which is a nice perk. And we used one of our dice, so now we can dig here and get that die right back. Boom. And now we'll go to the dining room. We'll hold off on drafting rank 8 as long as possible. Ha, ballroom. A ballroom, you say. At some point, you would want the ballroom on rank 8. But it feels like every time we have a chance to draft the ballroom, we are losing some serious gems in the process. I think I just take the parlor here. We don't need the gems, but let's take the blue room out of the pool. And that's fine. And maybe, how close are we actually? This isn't number 40, is it? We're getting really close. Maybe this would be number 40. And then thinking about a trophy reminds me the fact that we did not get our trophy of speed. What the hell? All right. Okay, there are not many words on these boxes, which I like. The black box is false. The black box is true. Okay. Well, we know one of these is true and one is false. A false box contains the gems. Okay. So, and this could also be true or false. So let's do our normal presumption here, and hopefully we'll get to where we need to go. Let's presume that the blue box is true. The blue box being true means that the black box is false. And so this statement, a false box contains the gems, is false. A true box contains the gems. Which means that the blue box could contain the gems, right? Because that would be the only true statement. We assumed this to be true, which means the white box has to be false. And the statement on the blue box indicates that the black box is false. So there's no contradictions, and the blue box would be the one that has the gems. If we presume the other way around, that the blue box is false, then the black box is true, meaning that a false box contains the gems. I think we're getting to the same point, because the white box would also be true. You'd have the white and black both true, meaning a false box contains the gems, and it would have to be blue. The only possible scenario that works here is the blue box containing 3 gems. Boom. And you don't really get a sound when a trophy happens, do you? There's no like in Legend of Zelda, you get you completed the shrine, or you completed the little puzzle objective. You don't get like a ringing or anything that tells you that you got a trophy. So I don't know if that was number 40 or not. But one way or the other, we've got some gems in our pocket and one more parlor game successfully navigated. Hi, doggo. Yeah, you're good, doggo. Let's get our gem here. Reading nook. Not yet. We're getting close, but not yet. The locker room is an interesting one that I would actually be curious to see. The blue memo could be in any of those lockers. If we put this on rank 8, it could be in any of the lockers. So all these lockers before that we've seen that are empty could contain the blue tense memo. So if we can save the locker room for rank 8, I wouldn't mind doing that. I don't want to take any of these rooms here because the drafter in me wants to draft this room down in rank 5. So I want more doors, so I want to use a reroll here. But at the same time, it's just one door. It's just one room in rank 5. But I also don't want to take the locker room in this spot. I kind of would rather have it on rank 8. I'm going to use a die, because we've got our experiment as well. Okay. I'm going to use another die. I don't want to take any of these here. I want at least a door that goes... I just don't want a dead end. That's what the bedroom, I don't really want either. I'm going to reroll. We've got this experiment online that that helps us with our die situation. I want to use it. Okay, well, we're not getting down to this room here. The rank 5 room, I think I'm going to leave because I don't think I need to spend stars here. I think I just take the corridor. I want to keep the draft going, but I could take the trophy room to take another blue room out of the pool. Maybe that's the way to do this. The corridor, I feel like, might have some dig sites, which I kind of do need. Actually, there are dig sites back out in the root cellar that we could use to get ourselves some dice. And I think there might also be some dig sites in the workshop. still. I don't think I dug up the workshop yet because I didn't have a shovel. So there's a couple ways we could get some dice back. We don't need to take this Geist bedroom. I like the fact that the corridor goes to the middle column, because I kind of want to have like 3 avenues to potentially draft rooms into rank 8. Let's take the corridor here. Is there a dig site? No. So let me quickly go back. I probably should have saved, if I was thinking about this experiment, I would have saved one of those dig sites. Although I don't think we got any trash from them, so it wouldn't even have mattered. But let's go to the... I think there's a dig site in the workshop. I could be wrong. There was one here. Hopefully it has some trash. Dang it! Never have I been sadder to see coins. Oh, there's another dig site, though. There's another dig site. That feeling when you're hoping for trash. When you're actually hoping for trash. When you never have before. Since we're here, let's go to the root cellar. We got steps. The natural order of things. What the hell does that mean? What does that mean, man? Like, I even tried searching through my notes for, like, have natural and order been mentioned anywhere else in all of the other rooms that we visited? I got nothing. I found nothing. I have no clue what natural order means. Ah, there. That's trash, right? No, it does. It is actually trash and not. You can't just dig up nothing. You actually have to dig up trash. And are we gonna completely strike out with all of these dig sites in the cellar? Oh my God, they were all coins. Guys, how do I buff my chances at digging up trash? What the hell? Oh my God. Okay, so we don't have any dice, but we'll continue our draft here in just a moment. Pushing our way to rank 8 after I take my break. All right, let's go ahead and draft the corridor. I've picked up a couple pieces of fruit along the way back as well. That showed up, so as if we needed any more steps. As if we needed any more. Okay, so gymnasium, bunk room, kitchen. I don't think any of these have dig sites with even with the root cellar's help. I am kind of interested in getting dig sites here as my my neighbors. You guys won't hear this, fortunately, but my neighbors have decided to play their music from their car in an unacceptably high volume that is distracting me momentarily here. So I will try to maintain as much focus as possible and not let that get to me. But of course, it's going to get to me just a little bit because you know how it feels, guys, when the neighbors are just playing their music just a little bit, or maybe more than a little bit too loud. Like, I should not be able to hear it while I'm inside my own house, but I'm sure y'all have been there. Do I still just... I mean, I really want to get a blue room here, is what I want. And because the bunk room doesn't do anything for me. None of these do anything for me, really. So let's just do a reroll here with the crown, since we have it. The vault, sure. Like, that's a room that we've already drafted at rank 8, so let's take that out. And now, ideally, I would like to have a door that goes upward, which I could have gotten with the gym, or that would have been a reason to take the gymnasium, just to get another way into rank 8. But we have the foyer and we have the den. We should be able to get our hands on. We should be fine getting into rank 8. That shouldn't be a problem. Man, they are really being loud right now, though, and it is just like they're kind of yelling as well. Like, what the hell's going on? It's like freaking Saturday morning over here. It's not like it's the evening time or anything. Like, they're just having a freaking party, I guess, on Saturday morning. So I am going to not spend a star here. I'm going to continue with my draft, even though part of me wants to go outside and yell at my neighbors to shut the hell up. God damn it. Oh, they're really putting me in the Christmas spirit here. It's not Christmas anymore. So I can be as Scrooge as I want here as I pick up my pile of money from the vault. Turn off your damn music. The vault. Yeah, we got the blue memo in here last time. And I feel like we've done everything at this point in the vault. So yeah, it's just the vault. That's all there is to it. Let's draft. I don't have any dice, but I have stars. I can spend stars if I need to. So if you don't get something you like here, if you get a dead end or something, you can take those. You can use some stars. I guess I'll settle for a music room because it does keep my path moving forward. Or I could take a bedroom as well. But the music room I'm not anxious to put... Well, I don't know. Maybe I'd want to get it back on rank 8 at some point today. Just to figure out what the hell is going on with this place. How did I miss the blue memo before? But maybe I'll save that for another day. Why don't we go ahead and... I just, like usual, am not anxious or interested in drafting the bedroom. And I have gems to be able to spend. So let's take our prism key. And our regular key that we're never going to need. We still have this note I still don't know what to do with. And we have a window to the outside. Cool. Have we ever had a window in the music room before? Probably. But I don't remember. I always feel like the windows are just a fun surprise when they do show up in a room that you usually don't see them in. Can't use my prism key here, right? Not that I'd want to, if I wanted to use a prism key from a blue room, but I don't think it lets you. But if it would let me, I'd want to do it when I'm going into rank 8. So I'm going to use a regular key here. God dang it. Okay, well this is where we will use some stars. I mean, maybe I should go back and put the Southern Cross in effect. Maybe I should get the Southern Cross here to give myself more doors, because right now the lack of an ornate compass is, I'm kind of feeling the pinch of that. All right, I'll spend a star, and then I guess I take a conference room because it's the only one that has a door that keeps going. So conference room, but I'd like to steer up into rank 8, please. I'd like to go. Maybe I should go back to the foyer right now. If I go back to the foyer, that's where I'd like to get some dice before I go back to the foyer. That's what I wanted. I was hoping to get some dice at some point along the way. So I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. I guess I'm going to have to settle for a trophy room here. Because that finally does get me up into rank 8. And then we'll have to do our stars. We'll have to do our stars up into... Spend our stars in order to get into... hopefully the office or the reading nook. And maybe the library if we're lucky to just get there directly. Here I will take the trophy room. Trophy room. As I'm like... I'm honestly like... I'm still hearing their music. And part of me is just like wanting to take another break. And because I know they won't play they don't necessarily play their music forever and ever and ever. But this does happen where they're like... They just... I don't know, maybe they will be playing it for all of Saturday morning as far as I know. And... like it is a serious distraction at the moment. I wish my headphones were a little more, you know, noise canceling, and I could just ignore them altogether. We're only up to 38 of 40 on the Parlor game, so we still have 2 Parlor games to go before we get there. Okay. Okay. I guess if this is as good a place as any for us to aim for a reading nook and or office. So the question is, do I want to activate my Banner of the King? Is that helpful for me? Does it actually help me accomplish an objective, the objective that I'm aiming for? Or does it crowd things out by making the study and the chamber of mirrors and a whole bunch of other blue rooms more likely that I don't want to be more likely. So what I think I'll do is I will go ahead and just draft this first room, and maybe I'll think about activating the Banner of the King for the foyer. Let's just draft this room first, and we'll use our lockpick kit. And then we'll use a special key, but I don't think the prism key works. Doesn't work in blue rooms, so we just have to settle for a regular key. And okay, the Starfish Aquarium is actually interesting because it does count as a blue room, and it would get me a door to both the left and the right, which I kind of like. I like the fact that it just gives us 2 more chances into rank 8. So that I will go ahead and accept here. And it also gets us dig sites, I think, because it's a green room. So this is perfect. The aquarium is a good substitute for not getting your hands on an office or a nook right away. We also got our dinner bell, or whatever that's worth. And I guess these doors are now unlocked as well because of the kennel. So that's cool. No dice, unfortunately, because trash, when I need it to show up, is not showing up. God damn it. Okay, now at the same time, this is supposed to be a blue room, is it not? And we are on rank 8. But I had wondered, where in the world would you hide a blue memo in the aquarium? There are not very many hiding places. Ah, okay. That's the answer. You don't hide it. You don't hide it. You just put it in the most obvious place possible because you know that it still might just get overlooked by the blind playthrough. Let's player. Okay, this tank contains a red herring. They actually said it outright. We were talking earlier about red herrings and not knowing what to focus on, but they actually just put it in a note. This tank. Oh, this tank. Oh, for a moment my brain was thinking this room contains a red herring. The aquarium contains a red herring. It says this tank. So does it mean this tank here? Or does it count this is all one big tank, isn't it? Now what is the red herring? There's an X here, and we definitely dug something up in the laundry room. And there was an X here, and we definitely dug something up in the patio. What is the red herring? The red herring is just the hallway / corridor, whatever this room is supposed to be. As in, you know, it's a red herring that it appears between these 2 rooms that do have places to dig. Don't go digging in the hallway or the corridor. It's just here to fill out the fact that this is the aquarium and we need a yellow room and an orange room and a green room and a purple room and a red room. Okay, I don't see that one as supremely useful. But noted. Noted. It does still count as a blue room, and it has a blue tense memo. So now, we still don't have dice, because we didn't get any trash, but let's go to... Let's go... See, now it is a little bit awkward if I draft the reading nook from one of these doors, because let's say the clue that I was given could be that we want the reading nook, or it could be that we want the library. Now, if you draft the reading nook, you get the library as well, but the problem is the reading nook, if we got it here, is either going to point to rank 7 or rank 9, and in either case, we're not able to draft the library from it into rank 8. What I would rather do is I'd rather draft the reading nook from the foyer, because then it's guaranteed that we would get the library on rank 8 as well. We'd have both the nook and the library. That would be the preferred sequence of events. So maybe we just make our way back to the foyer right now. Or I could just draft. The thing is, if I draft the Starfish Aquarium here, if I draft the right-hand door, and I get the reading nook, I'm going to be like, oh, what do I do? I'd rather just like take the reading nook out of the pool altogether over here at the foyer, and then take the library out as well, and be done with both of them. And then come back here to draft the aquarium. Am I overthinking that to death? I probably am. I have the inkwell. I have stars. I just got a star back from the Starfish Aquarium. I shouldn't be afraid to spend stars. I think that is what I'll do, though, because I have so many steps. It's just because I have so many steps and I've got the running shoes. I have the luxury of making my way all the way back around and being as inefficient as I want with my steps. I have that luxury, and I'm gonna choose to exercise it. Question is, what's the way back? I guess I can go back through the... Oh, and the dining room as well has our pizza. Cool. So even less reason to worry. So let's go through the foyer. And now we see... There's no dig sites in here, right? Not in the foyer. No, no, no. Even with the root cellar. The foyer must stay pristine. All right, this is what I was afraid of. This is what I was afraid of. I should maybe have activated the banner. I maybe should have done it. Let's redraw, though. Office or reading nook. Either one I will be comfortable with here. We get neither one, of course. We get neither one. Now, the other thing that I could do here, we have the antechamber that's open, right? So, like, there is a world here where maybe if I took the ballroom, for example, I could draft on rank 9 through the antechamber and over to this other side, down into rank 8, and then you could get the reading nook there and the library here. There's a couple different options if you really wanted to be convoluted about this. Now we have the darkroom in here, which does allow me to do a reroll, and I think I will do that in this case, because I still don't want to lose 15 gems, even though I do want to see what the memo is in the ballroom, and maybe I should just take it. But we're aiming for, we have the rooms that we're prioritizing. Office and reading nook. Let's aim for those. Not a single blue room here at all. Shit. How many stars are we gonna have to spend, guys? What's the over-under on stars being spent at rank 8 today? Okay. There's an office. I'll settle for it. It's gonna make things a little bit funky when it comes... I would have preferred to get the reading nook here. But there's also a showroom here, which is a little bit late. I would love to have an ornate compass. But I'll take the office. It's the room we've been aiming for. One of them. I think it's the room that we're aiming for. I hope I've read the hint correctly. So now we need to find a hidden blue memo. Did they just hide it in the drawer? Oh, that's not... Okay, I thought... Oh, that's a paperclip there. I saw the paperclip that was on this blue memo that's inside of the drawer, and I thought they actually hid it in the drawer because I thought those were words on the memo. This memo could be in a lot of places in this room. I could see it being under a chair. I could see it being on a shelf. There could be a lot, like it could be squeezed in between a couple books. We really got to be on the lookout for this memo. Or it's just hit... okay, it wasn't stashed between a couple books, but it was on a shelf. That one was not hidden too badly. Okay. This is interesting here. Look at this. The king can castle by swapping with another piece. The king can castle by swapping with another piece. Oh. 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 Actually, what am I realizing? I don't know if I'm realizing anything. This has the word castle in it. Castle. And where is the word castle mentioned? Where have we seen the word castle? It's next to the chess puzzle, or it's in the room with the chess puzzle and the banner of the king and all the other stuff that's there. The king can castle by swapping with another piece. Huh. Well, now it makes me want to replay the chess game. It kind of makes me want to replay the chess game. Can we replay the chess game? I don't think Well, we have the office, okay? So we have the office here. We have the office, and it has a king in it, correct? There's a white king here. The king can castle by swapping with another piece. Does this mean that somewhere in our house, obviously we're going to have so many other chess pieces in these rooms. We've got the knight in the observatory. We've got pawns all over the place. We've got a rook somewhere, I'm sure. I think the conservatory. Do we just need to put the king chess piece in place of one of these others? It just swaps with any of the other pieces? Honestly, like, This is funny because I think I briefly had some idea similar to this, but I threw it out. Why did I throw it out? Because I was thinking about the fact that castling is actually a chess term, right? I'm no chess master. I don't really play chess, but I know how to play it. It's just not a game that like appeals to me to want to play it over and over and over. I know some people are really good at that game and they've learned all the ins and outs of it. And if I applied myself, I could probably be of similar skill level, but I've just never, it's never been a game that I'm like, oh, I really want to play chess all the time. But I know castling, right? I know that you can swap once you've got the pieces out of the way, once the knight and the bishop have been moved, you can swap the king with the rook, and that's castling, right? And you can do it on the queen side as well once the queen is out of the way. So you can castle on either side by swapping the king and the rook. They don't really swap places, but they do swap from one side to the other. What squares they end up on depends on whether it's the king side or the queen side. But in this case, it sounds like you could swap with any other piece. One way or the other, aha, we have a note now that has clued me into, we need to go back to the chess game. It's a good thing we got 109 steps, because we're going to go back out to the chess game eventually here at some point. Okay, I also took another short little break there because the neighbor's music was still going, and I had to say something. I did actually step outside on my balcony, and I didn't mean to. I said, excuse me, and I said it loudly enough because I wasn't sure if she'd be able to hear me otherwise over her music. But apparently I said it loudly enough where it actually startled her. She's out there like trimming the bushes, but she's got her music playing at the same time as she's trimming the bushes. So, but apparently I startled her and she jumped and everything. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. But would you mind turning your music down? It's like right next to my room, and I can hear it through my headphones. So now she has turned the music down, which is making my concentration level go back to its normal level, and now we can think about castling a little bit more with a little bit more clarity. But we need to go back to that. We need to go back to the chess game after we finish drafting the rest of rank 8, which we will now do. I just am a little now anxious about drafting the reading nook and not being able to draft the library right after it on rank 8, but we'll deal with that problem if and when it arises. We might not even have that problem, depending on how things go. Depending on how things go, we might not even have to worry about it. What I was hoping for here was getting a room that points upward so I can get to the antechamber. So I might spend a star here. I should have gone and I should do two things. I should do like Southern Cross plus, well, maybe not Southern Cross, because then I could get like Chamber of Mirrors and stuff. The closet we could take, right? We could take the closet because it is technically a blue room that we haven't checked yet. But then it would limit our options here. It would be just down to the Starfish Aquarium. And then maybe that's fine. Maybe we turn on the Banner of the King there. And go for whatever blue rooms we can get at that point. Because really, if the draft ends at this point, it's been fruitful, no matter what. I do want to get my hands on a reading nook. Let's save our stars though. Let's take the closet, and this will be another. Well, we'll see if it's another blue room. Okay, I see the memo down there. I was like, there's not too many places they could hide a blue memo in here. Well, I say that, but also there are actually quite a few. This game has a way of hiding things from me and making them tough to find. But in this case, I do see the note in this room. The closet was one of the original 46 rooms of Mount Holly. Yes? Was there some confusion about this? Is this like in doubt somehow? Why is that a note? Yeah, it's one of the original 46 rooms. I guess we had a memo last time in the drafting studio. The drafting studio did tell us about... Oh, wait, the drafting studio is actually a numbered room. The drafting studio was here. And the memo here told us about the 46 blue rooms. Maybe I should just bring up the memo and remind myself directly. Because it had 46 plus 46. The full directory comprises 46 numbered rooms plus 8 categories of 8 rooms. Right. 46 plus 46. Is this somehow... is this like 46 plus 46 with the diamond? Is this important? Like now that we know that family cores and numbered cores are a thing, I can't help but wonder, is this supposed to be part of some numbered core puzzle? Is that why they're telling me 46 plus 8 of 8? So then I go to this note in the closet, and it's kind of reinforcing that, right? One of the original 46 rooms of Mount Holly. Why is that important? I'll screenshot it, because I screenshot them all. We catalog everything, but I don't understand, guys. That's why this feels much, this type of, the Blue Tents memo collection does really feel like one of those chores where you kind of need to, especially if I was playing on my own, I didn't have any direction from you all as to which rooms to prioritize. You really just got to collect as much of them, like maybe all of them. Collect every single blue memo until you're sure that you've got all the information. Because it could be that only once you have every single blue memo from the Blue Tents that you're actually going to be able to make headway on solving whatever needs to be solved with numbered cores. This castling hint, though, is very, very exciting. Because now I've got some... I'm starting to get some ideas on playing around with the chess game outside. Let's finish up inside the house, and then we'll go to the castle. I mean, to the chess room. Ah, but I did say I wanted to do Banner of the King. Let's do this now. Let's make the blue rooms a little more likely. Okay, well, we've done Rotunda. This is the thing. We've done Rotunda already here. It's just that the Rotunda would get us... I don't want to take the Rotunda. We've done the Rotunda on rank 8. I want to redraw. I know the rotunda gets us it gets us a door to the other last room in rank 8. That's the one thing that it does for us. But, and it does it without spending a star. And I'm just anxious about like spending too many stars here. I'd rather get the reading nook now though. I'd rather get it. There it is. Okay. Reading nook, and we'll see what that memo gives us. And if it's not very interesting, then we know that we probably need to get the library. Let's give it a shot. Give it a shot. Assuming I can find the memo here. The first place I would think to look would be back here. Stashed away between the books. Or under these books. I would think under the chair would be like... That would be the first spot that I would think to hide a blue memo from me. Ah, here it is. Here it is. I see it. Oh my God. It was this room. And it's a similar clue to what we find in the office. I see why Riley chose these two rooms to nudge me toward. I think I'm not even going to wait to the end of the episode. If you all, similar to how we've done with, you might want to go back and check this room that you haven't checked in a while. I think I'm going to open up the floor to similar nudges regarding blue tents. If there are rooms that you think are more interesting than others to prioritize in getting them on rank 8, feel free to nudge me in that direction. If you can do it in a way, in a playful Blueprints style way that has kind of a cryptic nature to it, similar to Riley's hints, if you can do that, great. But if you're not that creative, or you're not in a creative mood and you just want to name the room and give me a little bit more direct guidance as well, feel free for that as well. Both types of help will be acceptable. But the note here, the rook can perform a special move with another piece. Okay, we are so going to go try. It's interesting as well that we're here in the reading nook because it does have a rook. That's what it is. You've got to swap the rook with the king. Now, the only question here is, do you still have to have all the other pieces in place? Do you have to have a room on your estate that has a bishop, a pawn, a knight, and most importantly, a queen? Because that's the one we don't have right now. There's only 2 rooms that I know of with a queen. Her ladyship's chamber, which we had a chance at, and the study. We could still get the study. The banner of the king is buff in the blue room, so study could happen. But one way or the other, we'll at least see what happens when we swap the king with the rook, because it seems like what they want us to do is put the rook on the square for the office and put a king on the square for the nook. Or maybe the conservatory would work as well, because it also has a rook. We'll try it when we go to play some chess in a little bit. Is that really what Castle has been hinting at this whole time? But why is there a message 6 add 6 Tor Lorette? Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe we do need to do this castling move first and then see what happens. Let's finish drafting. So obviously we can take the library here if we want. The thing is that if I take the library here, then I'm definitely not getting it on this other door in rank 8, or the other room in rank 8. At least not today. However, I do... We already got a very, very, very relevant blue tense memo in the reading nook, which makes me think that the reading nook is the room that was being hinted at. So the library is not like, I want to see what the memo is eventually in the library, but it's not the high priority or as high priority as I was thinking it might be at first. So I think here I will take the library just to keep our draft moving, because I do want to get to the other rank 8 room to get hopefully a new blue room that we've not explored before. No, oh, there's a trunk here. Dice? Yes, awesome. So a couple less stars that we would otherwise probably have to spend. And I will take the casino just to make sure I get to draft this last room. Yep, casino, and save the dice for the room that's actually on rank 8. We even get a casino spin as well, which maybe we'll just do right now, because otherwise I don't think I'm spending my gold on anything. Because it could get us more dice, I think, right? It could actually get us 10 dice if we're lucky here. No such luck. 10 dice. That would have been fun. We'll have to settle for 2. Just a lowly 2. Yeah, we don't want to use our prison key here. Okay, these are all... Actually, the clock tower is not new, but we have not drafted either the gallery or the attic on rank 8 yet. Which one do I think would be more interesting for us? Neither one of them has a chess piece. The attic does not have a chess piece, correct? None of them has any impact on tomorrow. If we were strictly drafting for resource purposes, the clock tower is the pick to help our draft tomorrow. But I want a new memo. And I think I'm willing to accept either the gallery or the attic. We also want to eventually get room 8 on rank 8. This gallery is the only way to get that room 8. But, so maybe I will hold off on the gallery then. That's maybe an argument to save the gallery for later. Take the attic now, and then when you have a day where you haven't filled out rank 8 yet, you can take the gallery and hopefully get it. Well, you can only get room 8 on rank 8, but we just happened to get it before unlocking the blue tents, right? We'll get back there eventually. Let's take the attic. See what we find. If we can, in fact, find a blue memo, where will it be hidden here? We know how the attic has a way of hiding memos quite well. None of these items matter, I don't think, because we're done drafting, and I don't have a Rogue Moon pendant. This memo, which was hidden, but is there a blue? Is the blue memo hidden in a similar fashion, stashed under a suitcase? I do love the attic music. I'm picking up these items, but I'm mainly trying to keep my eyes peeled for... Aha! I see it. I see it! Huh. SHS was born 3 years after HSS. Simon was born 3 years after Herbert. Is that actually going to be relevant information? I feel like it's one of these, like, logic puzzles. You guys have probably played, like, the logic puzzles where they give you a whole bunch of clues. Like, if there's a grid of, this person was born 3 years after this other person. This person is not the one who is from Germany. This person is not the one who ordered a meatball sub. Like there's all these different clues and categories of you have to like logically, it's a process of elimination to narrow down who is what, who exactly is from what country and was born when, and so on and so forth. Hope you know what I'm talking about. I hope I explained that correctly. But that's what this reminds me of. One of those clues from a logic game, logic puzzle. A different kind of logic puzzle compared to our standard Parlor game. Did I screenshot that? A treasure map. I guess these items could theoretically be relevant with our coat check. So, but are we really going to coat check anything but a crown? Okay. All right. I think that is about all we are. That's actually, I think, literally all we can do in the house now. We, I don't think have any other items to inspect or any such business here. We've drafted all the rooms that we can. So let's head back. Let's head outside and play some chess. I guess that was the only maybe relevant consideration with maybe re-rolling there instead of accepting the attic would have been to try to go for a study and get that queen. We'll see if we're able to do anything without having a queen in our house. But I think the chess pieces still light up their respective squares when you place them on the board. So maybe there is just a special interaction that happens simply by swapping the king with the rook. Is there any invention that I want to make? I think it's only, like I said, only relevant for coat check purposes, and I don't think I need anything coat checked besides the crown. So out we go. Where's my speed trophy though? What the heck? Has this really been all that castling was meant? I had received a nudge. I think I mentioned it. I want to say, I'm going the wrong way. I want to say that I mentioned it. A nudge about castle. I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not. But at one point, somebody had mentioned or said their clues was castle is not coincidental. And then that same person left another comment later that made me wonder. It felt like they were saying to disregard the previous castle hint, or they were thinking that the hint that they had given me was making me confused. It was confusing me or causing me to overcomplicate in a way that was not helpful. So forget I ever said anything, I think was what they were trying to tell me. But going back to thinking about that, castle is not coincidental. Was that a hint to try to get me to think about the actual castling move from chess? I wonder. So the normal method would be to put the king here and to put the rook here. But in this case, we swap them? That's not the square. That's not the square. What the heck? That don't do anything. Swapping the rook with another piece. Let me read those memos again. I did take some duplicate. I did take some duplicate screenshots here, so let's delete the duplicates. Just for I did actually duplicate all of these. I'm like, am I sure I took a screenshot? Am I sure? The king can castle by swapping with another piece. And then the rook can perform a special move with another piece. The king can castle by swapping with another piece. The attic is a bishop, right? It doesn't let me put the king down on a space that's already occupied. So when it says the king can castle by swapping with another piece. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I ever tried putting the king on the antechamber square, or any piece on the antechamber square for that matter. I did not realize that that was a I made an assumption that I would not be allowed to put a chess piece where the antechamber is. I guess I could put a chess piece where the entrance hall is. But that doesn't light up because there's no chess piece in the entrance hall, so far as I'm aware. The other space that has a rook on it is the conservatory, right? I wonder if we still have to do what I was suspecting we might need to do, which is make sure that... Where was the observatory? There it was. Make sure that you've got all the other squares lit up that you can. And then once you have all the other pieces in place, the queen, the bishop, the pawn, and the rook, or sorry, the knight, then you swap places with the king and the bishop. Or sorry, the king and the rook. Now I've got castle on the brain, which specifically involves the king and the rook, but the note, if my literal brain here reads this note, the king can castle by swapping with another piece. It doesn't say it has to swap with the rook. But even if we swap it with another piece, wait, that's a rook? Rank 7? Or did I get that right? Sorry, rank 6. The vault has a rook in it. Huh. I suppose it does. So we have the vault. I just don't think I noticed. Well, I noticed it before. I think I did. I do actually have it in my notes that the vault has a rook. Okay. Minor sidetrack there. If we put things where we know they light up. We just don't have a space for the queen today, unfortunately. So maybe none of what we're trying to do here does anything. But if I just try to swap the king with the bishop, that doesn't seem to do anything. And if I swap with the pawn, I suspect that similarly will not. Although now if I'm swapping with another piece, I have to put the other piece where the king would have been. I'm getting the feeling that we can't ignore the queen. That we actually have to play this game where all the pieces are active. And then we can start doing the swapping that needs to be done. This note is a little bit different. The Reading Nook note says the rook can perform a special piece with a special move with another piece. What special move would that be besides swapping places? What other special move could you possibly do? It has to be swapping places, doesn't it? But we get a similar effect if I try to swap the rook with the bishop. Those squares are not lit up anymore. Trying to think if there's any other detail here that I could be overlooking. That could this work in some scenario where we don't need the queen to be active or to have an active square? I don't think so. I'm getting the distinct impression that to do whatever needs to be done, we're going to need a queen to help us get there. The queen has to be part of the solution. Castle. 6 add 6 Tor Lorette. This room... I'm thinking of something from another game. I don't want to say what game it is I don't want to spoil anything. But there's another game that I'm thinking of where you have there was a secret that was obtained once you solved a certain thing. There was a secret chamber that opened up. There was like a circular or spiral staircase that opened up. That was previously covered by a pool of water. And that's what I wonder here, like if we did this special move that we're supposed to do on the chessboard, are we going to open up some new secret opening? I don't know what else to do here right now, other than we've got to get the queen on board. So I think that's where we're going to have to leave it. That's very exciting though. Very exciting to think that there is more to this chess game. There's more to the chess game. And perhaps we will, if we can figure out what to do with the chess game and make the special move that we need to do with the rook, which it sure feels like it's supposed to swap with the king. And they're just not saying it explicitly. This note doesn't say it explicitly because it's meant, you know, you're supposed to read both of these notes. And then you put 2 and 2 together and realize, oh, the king needs to swap with the rook because that's castling. It makes total sense. It just doesn't work with what we're trying to do here because we don't have a queen active. And I suspect once we do, we'll be able to do the castle properly. So I think that's going to be our day 51 goal. In addition to getting additional blueprints intel, or blue tents intel, I should say. In addition to doing that, I think our goal is going to be to try to get a study or her ladyship's chamber. Good thing her ladyship's chamber is common. We know we can aim for that and make that happen rather easily. Still a little confused why my blessing of the monk did not net us a break room out in the outer room. Maybe the game says, you get the break room too often. I'm sorry, I'm not giving it to you anymore. Enough is enough. There have to be some boundaries here. But that is where we will wrap up this installment of Blueprints. Thank you all for hanging out with me on day 50. Another, well, this one, I wasn't sure what we were going to get done today. And we, sure enough, we did find a place to use this file cabinet key. It just wasn't quite where I was expecting. But we were headed in the right direction. And I feel glad that I did not require a nudge. You all didn't have to get me into the right place to find the right file cabinet. I feel good about that. But like I said, as we go forward, I know it's a game where I am going to need a healthy amount of nudges to keep making progress. And not just make progress, but make progress in a timely manner, if you will. Because, you know, if I spent who knows how many dozens of days on the estate here, I might eventually be able to piece everything together by myself. But but I would like us to keep a healthy pace to our discoveries and progress here on the estate. So if you do have some nudges about other rooms that I should prioritize for rank 8 and blue tents memos, feel free to leave those in the comments below. I cannot think of anything else to do for this day. I think we've completed our code check. That's the one thing I forgot. Code check, I almost forgot. I walked right past it, but I did catch myself. Because my crown, I love it so much. But on day 51, we have a goal now. Eat all the fruit is the first goal. And then, once you've eaten all the fruit, try to get a queen and all of the other necessary chess pieces in place. Because we got to play the chess game again. And I think all the pieces are going to be needed. But again, thank you all for hanging out with me to the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, do consider hitting those YouTube buttons below. And it always helps so much having you here and watching, liking, subscribing. In whatever way you choose to support the channel, I appreciate it so much. It's so much fun to have you all along for the ride. And also, just as a thing that I have forgot to mention so many times in the past, but I'm not going to forget it right now, is we do have there is a Discord, which you are free to join. There's a link in the description. But in that Discord, there is also a spoilers chat. So for all the times that you all want to laugh behind my back about the obvious X marks the spots that I'm missing, or other mysteries that I haven't quite figured out yet, or maybe even you want to strategize on how best to hint me in the right direction, there is a Blueprints spoilers chat in the Discord. Feel free to join and hang out there for some extra commenting and socializing with fellow viewers. But we have our garden excavation site, a lot of digging, not that much trash, even though I was actually looking for it today. A root cellar, though, that has been a rarely drafted room in recent days, but otherwise a very profitable informational day 50. We've got castling to look forward to, and we've got numeric cores to figure out. What the heck is going on with that? The endless mysteries here at the Mount Holly estate, but I always feel like we're just making a little bit of progress no matter what. Sometimes it's giant leaps, and other times it's little tiptoe steps. But one way or another, we're digging our way, one bit of trash at a time, until we get somewhere. And we'll see what happens on day 51. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.